Good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Life Lessons with Mr. Beilke. Let me take you in here and show you what we got going today. So as you come in our bathroom, see we got a pretty plain wall over here. We want to be able to jazz that up, and so to do that, we're going to take some peel and stick wallpaper and get it on there. See what happens. Here we go. Episode 8, how to beautify any wall in your house using peel and stick wallpaper. Let's get after it. Alright, so you want to know how to install peel and stick wallpaper? Simple. Take the peel and stick wallpaper, just like this, and boom, it's done. So the first step here is we got to remove any nails that we have. We got to remove this mirror, obviously, and that vanity light. So the process to remove nails without damaging your walls looks like this. There you go. Mission accomplished. Next up, the mirror. So you're going to get some bonus content today because not only are we installing wallpaper, we're also going to be changing out a light fixture. So, episode 8.2, changing out a light fixture. Bonus content, you're welcome. So the first step in getting this light fixture switched out is we need to go downstairs and shut off the power. Alright, so on any electrical box, should have everything nicely labeled over here, so you know exactly which breaker to turn off. And it looks like the master bathroom is number 27. So we go over here and we find number 27, and we take that switch and go from on to off. That's it. Now that the power is turned off, we can go ahead and remove this light fixture. So first we're going to take out all of the bulbs, then that front plate should come off, and then we'll see what we're working with after that. Let me bring you up here to show you what we got going. So these wire nuts are connecting to the positive, negative wires, and then there's a ground wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to untwist these so we can disconnect this. So we'll twist it to the left, disconnect it, and we'll take off the ground wire. We'll have to take this hub off, we'll have to take this off, and this off, and we can just pull the whole thing right out. So the next step is to get out these anchors that they had in the wall, and then fill them in with some spackle because we don't want any indentations showing through the wallpaper. Even though the wallpaper is covering up those spots, it could show up there. So we want to make sure that's taken care of. All right, so spackling is this pink stuff here, right here. Get as much of that in there as possible. Scrape it away, nice and clean, and then you just let it dry. The neat thing about this stuff is you know it's dry, it goes on pink, and when it's dry it turns white. So what I discovered here is there was no junction box in the wall, which is odd. However, there was a junction box attached to the light fixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole in the drywall so that I can get this fitted up flush against that, and we can go from there. Next step involves washing all the walls down because you want to make sure that there's no dirt or debris so that the wallpaper can make good contact as we're sticking it on there. So the walls are all wiped down. So next we're going to measure this run of wallpaper. Then we're going to go ahead and cut it to fit and start laying. So it looks to be about 66 inches. We're going to leave it at 66 and a quarter. And then when we're done, we'll come around with our razor blade and make a nice straight cut. Well, that didn't work. So this is one of those life lessons from preschool. When you're cutting things and your teacher's making you cut things and cut things and cut things and you're wondering, why do I gotta stay on the dotted line? Well, you gotta stay on the dotted line so that you get a nice straight cut when you're laying wallpaper. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is peel back a little bit of the wallpaper. And then we're gonna start on the top and start smoothing our way down using a soft cloth. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, if you get a little bubble, you work from the inside out.
Yeah, that's going good.
What do you think about just one strip accent? One on each side?
Nope.
So here's your pro tip. Sometimes projects that you're working on can be extremely stressful. And so it's not always the great bonding thing that you think it might be when you're working with your significant other. It could actually add a lot of tension. So sometimes it's not bad to just do things by yourself, but it's good to have help. So you got to balance that when you're working on these when you're working on these home improvement projects. So just keep that in mind as you go. You got to have a lot of patience with yourself or for yourself from your significant other. Okay, it's important to note that when you are buying patterned wallpaper that you may need to buy extra because you got to overlap sometimes more than you were anticipating. Also, pro tip, when you start to get stressed out with the project, grab a cookie. It helps. Now what? What? Stop recording. Okay, so life lesson. Never hang sticky wallpaper. It is the worst. 2 strips down, 17 more to go. Creases.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that.
Oh, did I say never do this? Never. So we're 3 strips in. Pro tip. If anybody asks you to do wallpaper, peel and stick, just say no. Run away, get as far away as you can. It is the worst. I can't say that enough. It's just, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Especially with the pattern, because you got to get these lined up perfectly, and then you got to make sure that there are no wrinkles, and it is just a hot mess. It looks kind of cool, but it's a hot mess. Don't do it. Just don't. It's not worth it. It'll just put too much of a strain on your relationship. Kids will come in and you'll be yelling and just no good. Not worth it. Not at all. Well, let's take a peek at the finished product. There it is. Wallpaper, light, it's all there. However, my recommendation stands. Don't attempt this. Just say no. It might look okay from a distance, but man, it'll test your relationships, let me tell you. But it's done now. On to the next project. That's it for this edition of Life Lessons with Mr. Beilke. Have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time. So just to recap, if anyone ever comes up to you and says, hey, we should lay some stick-on wallpaper, just say no. Run away. It'll be fun, they say. It'll look cute. Not worth it. The second may be true. It might look cute, but it's not worth it. So just run the other way. It's done. I'm gonna go get some nachos, maybe some queso, French fries, pizza. I don't know. Something awesome. As you've probably already noticed, I was so flustered with the wallpaper that I stopped recording partway through. I was done. Also, I did 0 recording on installing the light, but basically it's connect the white wire to the white wire, the black wire to the black wire, and the ground wire to the ground screw. Put it up, screw it on, you're done. So one of the big problems with this is, if you are even a 1/16 of an inch off at the top, and it goes just a hair crooked, it's gonna be way off on the bottom. That's bad. Also, when you're factoring in how much to buy, you gotta factor in, there's an overlap here of a good 2.5 inches. Something to keep in mind when you're ordering wallpaper. Not that you're gonna do that, because you're gonna heed my advice and you're never gonna attempt something like this. I mean, wow. Fun little Saturday. Quick little project, just peel it, stick it, move on to the next thing. Nope. Sit there, stare at it, wonder what in the world you got yourself into. Contemplate tearing the whole thing down and just chucking it. But man, look at it, isn't that nice? I got daylight light bulbs in there. That is bright. But it is, you can see everything now. So, maybe you don't want to see everything. Man, that sucker's bright. Oh, this view allows you to see the lights a little bit better. Oh man, perfect sign for this project. Don't worry, be crappy. This will do it to you. So probably the biggest life lesson in all of this is, some projects are best done by other people. And sometimes it's okay to pay someone else to do it for you. Sometimes it's worth it. So, take that to heart.